I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Lolly.
Salty and Chip.
Okay.
We're doing Metallica, Bleeding Me. This is the Woodstock version. In case there's no sound or there's no picture, whatever,
they
blocked it. But if we have everything, great. So you've been warned.
Okay. I've never heard this song. This is a pretty popular song, though. We were in a Fireside. Somebody said we had to do this, so.
Bleeding Me.
That's the thing. Come to the Fireside.
Yeah.
The last two videos we did were heavily influenced by Fireside Recommends.
It's
Remember
true.
we did the Join Me in Death thing?
But,
and I said
but lots of people...
type 22 for Join Me in Death?
Yeah.
And then everybody was like,
22.
oh, shit,
yeah. That's true.
Because I basically said, look, bro, just because you want him doesn't mean everybody else does.
It doesn't happen all the time. People make requests all the time on the Fireside. It's just hit or miss.
There are certain perks to being in Fireside, though.
Yes.
Like, that's how certain people stand out. Like Lilo and Ben and all that. Like, all that came out with the Fireside.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If it, I think it's cool.
And they're
to be
fun.
Fireside. And they're fun. Yeah. So, there you are.
You get to hang out and listen to his interesting discussions and watch me eat.
FYI, we've never who did it? Was that one kid had the $80 in super chat and we said stop, just stop doing it and we'll review your song.
Yeah. Did we end up reviewing it?
Yeah, we ended up shit, did we?
Babe, are you serious? I don't even remember what song it was. I don't even remember the person's name. We're back. The infamous knockers. We're recording! Okay.
I don't know if we did that, kids.
But we can go back in the Fireside and see. Right?
I'm pretty certain we did it.
I feel like we did, but I don't know for sure.
Was it Slaughtered Lamb, right?
Slaughtered Lamb is always dumping money, and I don't even know.
Yeah, we try to get him to stop. The point of this whole discussion was we try to get him to stop sending us money, so I said...
Vin did. I'm the capitalist.
Yeah. Sori's a filthy capitalist. She'll take your fucking... Between you and your rent, she'll take your rent money.
Stop
You're like
that. No. It's not that extreme.
Yeah, you are. Every single time I'm like, stop. I always get a pinch on my leg. I've got this giant back and boot stain on my black leg.
We're trying to go full time off this. If people want to give, let them give.
We're not going to go full time on the backs of one person giving us hundreds of dollars. What the hell?
No, but if somebody says like, hey, you know what? I was going to go out to, share failed. We'll be back, guys. Anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about. Vin, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm trying.
We're trying to upload these things for you guys, but our internet, man, it fucking sucks. Okay, so Metallica, Bleed. You've never heard this one?
Bleeding Me. I've never heard this one. But I guess it's a very, very popular one.
Is this the old or new Metallica?
I'm not saying. Because that bias is what you're whatever. So let's just listen to it. This is a Woodstock version, and let's see how it goes. Let's get in it. Let's do it.
Ready?
Yep. That's
Go.
Oh my gosh.
Go. Looks like a
Ouija board. Yeah.
Wow.
Clean channel.
It's a lot of people.
Woodstock 99, man. It's historical. That's the show that turned me into a metalhead. Woodstock 99.
You were there?
No. That's the Korn show. Remember I said Korn was turned me into a metalhead?
Yeah.
They were playing Woodstock 99.
Oh, and you saw a recording of
Yeah,
it. Oh,
yeah,
my word.
yeah.
I remember hearing about Woodstock and
I
like,
saw 20 seconds of Got the Life and
yeah.
that was it. Metalhead. Here we go. And
Wow.
fuck you guys. Oh, it's new metal. It's not real metal. Shut the fuck up. Okay. What'd you think of the song?
I liked it. It was a little bit repetitive. I felt like the stuff that we were like just I was kind of like, whoa, how it felt like it was kind of on and on. So, but I liked it. I liked it especially when it got to like that not the chorus. What do you call that? Where it's like the guitar solo, I guess, in the middle.
Yeah.
And that guy with the Ouija board guitar, and he's a bad man. He's really good.
Kirk Hammett.
Oh, that's Kirk Hammett. Yeah, he's really good. I was like, whoa, check that out. That was
I saw somebody in the comment section one time was like, Kirk Hammett can't stay off the whammy pedal, blah, 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 like judging Kirk Hammett. I'm like, who are you? You're a mere human being. How dare you judge Kirk Hammett?
I don't even know what a pleb is, but
Yeah, it's like Dorian. It's just amazing to me like how deluded people are. How dare you judge Kirk?
well, I don't know. We judged
Carrie
Halford.
King?
Is it? Wait, who's Judas Priest?
No, I never said that Halford was a bad vocalist. I specifically said that maybe it's because I was raised on fast food
right.
and Halbert is filet mignon.
I remember now.
There was a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah, that's true.
But people have the nerve to criticize Kirk Hammett. It blows my mind.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of... Get out.
Don't comment. Don't pass code. Don't collect 200. Just...
And I will purposely leave your comment up for posterity. So in 20 years, somebody could be like, look at this shit. You know, they'll be they'll be in their little Jetson, little house or whatever. And they're like, look at this. Somebody actually talks shit about fucking one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I didn't know who was
Idiot
who.
Dumbuck.
And that I was able to pick out and be like, that guy, there's something
Hammett.
there.
He's
for sure.
definitely rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very focused on what he was doing.
Yeah, he's an excellent guitarist. Excellent guitarist.
Like some artists come across like, here's my art, worship me.
Right.
I didn't get that from him.
Right.
I felt like his art was like...
I saw an interview with him, like, he plays guitar in the hotel room. Like, he just loves the instrument.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
And one of his friends was like, Kirk, you don't have to work. You're good. You're off time. But he just loves his instrument. But the guitar is extremely addictive, though. I'm trying very hard now that I got my amp. Now that I got my amp, like I'm trying very hard to, because we don't have a lot of time.
I was like, babe, you barely have any time to really.
Yeah. So then as soon as I pick up the guitar, it's like,
no, that is completely untrue. I have not said anything about that. I think you're assuming that I'm going to do that, so maybe you're on edge. But I haven't said anything.
I do. But playing guitar is extremely addictive.
Yeah.
No matter like how good you are, if you play long enough, you'll always find something. Like the things that I'm working on, like and it's just a mistake. But then it's like, oh shit, that sounds really good, and it like brings you to other pathways. It's just such a beautiful instrument, very therapeutic. So I can imagine having his skill set and all the scale work that he knows, like how fun it must be to just be able to play. So yeah, guitar and Xbox 360 is how Vin relaxes.
Yeah, it really is.
By the way, shout out to the big homie Chris Culp for the strong defensive win. So he finally won a game. He goes, so Vin, you gonna, it was like,
are you gonna Instagram it?
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna Instagram video? I'm like, fuck no, do your own fucking Instagram video. I gotta fucking
You're terrible.
promote you. Promote you? Get the fuck out
When
of here.
you lose, though, I'll put you on blast.
Oh,
well,
for
here
sure.
you go. Here's your video.
Yes.
We're telling everybody you won.
Yeah, put it on the main stage video. How real is that?
Metallica main stage.
Okay, what do you think the song was about?
I had no idea. Like, reaping what you sow, like...
Okay.
I have no idea.
If you let the title control the song...
Bleeding Me.
It's called Bleeding Me.
Yeah.
I initially thought it was going to be a Woe Is Me song. And so I originally came to the song with a very heavy bias. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a Woe Is Me song. I'm bleeding, look at bleeding me. But that's not what it's about at all. I take the leech, I'm bleeding me. Because you know how back in the day they used to think that, if you put a leech on you, it would bleed out all the bad blood or whatever. So it seems to be that seems to be like the control of the song. Like he's going after himself to bleed out all the things that are bad about himself. So I am bleeding myself. Like he's taking the leech and, attaching it to his soul to drain out all the evil in his soul. Wow. So he's bleeding, he's bleeding himself, out of that. So it's like a really proactive, very, it's interesting because in the Join Me in Death video, like that was my criticism of the character in the song was that there's so much difficulty in life, and instead of facing it head on, he wants to quit and bring other people with him. Whereas here, he's saying he's sowing some seeds, right? Yeah. I don't know what. There it is. I'm sowing the seeds. I've sown the seeds I've taken. I'm sowing the seeds I've taken for granted. The thorn in my side is from the tree that I've planted. Yeah. So he's saying, I'm the reason for why I brought this on myself, and now I gotta bleed myself out of it. I love stuff like this because it's like, yes, now I'm assuming that this has to do with alcohol because they were famous they were like called Alcoholica at one point. No way. Metallica, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So he's had some pretty terrible, the loss of his mother, and then Cliff dying. Yeah. Wow. And he never really got to mourn either one of them very well. You can see that with how he talks about his mom. But in his music, it pops out. And then, think about this. Caught Under the Wheels Roll. I think we have, a lot of villagers that have that issue. What? Like alcoholism. I think that's a big thing. Yeah. Alcohol, various addictions. For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. But, even, Caught Under the Wheels Roll. Yep. I'm sure that he wasn't explicitly thinking about this, but that's pretty much how his friend died. He got caught under, the bus. Van. Yeah, it was the bus, so it's like, I don't think that Cliff's, I think he was saying this metaphorically, like he was caught under the wheels of life or whatever that he, or the wheels roll is like, the touring life maybe. Mm-hmm. But in a very real, literal sense, his friend died that way, basically. You know? So I think when you have really traumatic issues in life that you don't deal with, they come out in ways that I'm sure, if I sat next to him and said, hey, Cliff died like this.
Yeah.
He'd probably say, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that was not in my mind at all in any way, shape, or form. But the mind is it'll do that. It'll tell you this is what's going on, even if you deny it consciously.
Wow. Okay.
That's why I always say, like, if you have an issue in your life, you're never not going to deal with it. You're always going to deal with it. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of whether you're consciously dealing with it or subconsciously dealing with it. But you will deal with it. Believe me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, he's not responsible for what happened with his mom or what happened with Cliff or the other shit in his life, but he is responsible for how he handled it. Mm-hmm. And he's now coming to that situation where, and I love this song because it's not just blaming himself. Mm-hmm. Because like when you take responsibility, it doesn't mean that you're a horrible, disgusting, terrible person. That's the difference to me between blame and accountability. Blame is just non-redemptive. It's a dead end. It's you, and whoever it is. Whether it's you're blaming other people, you're blaming yourself. It's just but accountability or responsibility is redemptive. It's saying, I am responsible for this piece, and I'm going to handle this piece, and we're going to go somewhere. It's not a dead end. You're like going in a direction, and you're going to overcome. Mm-hmm. That is very, very important, and people today don't want to do that.
Right. Because
they're afraid that it's going to lead to the dead end of just blame.
Right.
And people have been blamed all their life, so they don't want to go there. Especially like me as a middle child. Like, you get blamed for everything. So, it took me a while to really like be like, no, wait a second.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I've done. Yeah, your parents have done X. Society has done X. I got put in situations where I did things where it's like, really humanly speaking, there was no other choice but to do those things. Mm-hmm. But like how you react after that is your responsibility. You know what I mean? So, I really, really like that. Like,
there was a line that I didn't know what it meant. When he kept saying, I take the leash that's leading me. So that's where he's like taking control of things and he's not letting it whatever, right? Okay, scroll a little bit lower. Keep going. Okay, right there, verse 2. I am the beast that feeds the feast. I am the blood. I am release. Come make me pure. Bleed me a cure. Mm-hmm. What is he saying here?
I think he's saying that he's the one that's consuming himself. So he's the one that's going to have to fix himself. So he's the beast that feeds the feast, but he's also feasting on himself, essentially, and feasting on those around him, which is making him a dysfunctional person. And I'm the blood, but he's leeching himself to drain himself of that.
Yeah.
He is the source of his own corruption.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's also the source of releasing that.
Right, because he's the one putting the leech.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
It is very interesting because Christian theology is...
Go ahead. Who wrote this?
Hetfield. James Hetfield, the guy that was singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the one that lost his mom and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's the main writer pretty much of all the lyrics of the band.
Wow, okay. All right.
It is interesting, though, in Christian theology because Christian theology is both and. Because there is this sort of, because the metaphor here is that there's something inside of him, and in this case it's blood, that needs to be drained so that he can be pure, because he's got bad blood and he needs to get rid of it so that he can have good blood.
Yeah.
But the main difference between this and Christian theology is he's completely doing it himself. Whereas in Christian theology, it's like, okay, you have to recognize that you are the problem because you're born in sin. You do have bad blood inside of you, but you can't fix yourself.
Right.
That's the main difference. In this situation, like, he's fixing himself completely.
Yeah.
But in Christian theology, it's, okay, then, and what's interesting is that Jesus shed his blood.
Yep.
To give you his blood, basically. So he'll take all your bad blood, and then he gives you all of his good blood, and now you become a good person from the inside out. So it was interesting listening to. I had a journey with this song because initially I was like, oh gosh, it's gonna be poor me.
Yeah.
And then it was, whoa, this is very empowering. And then it was, okay, how does this work in the real world? Because I believe in the real world that if you start off saying that you're internally corrupt, which I agree with here, then you can't fix yourself.
Right.
Because if you're at the core of yourself corrupt, then you can't save yourself. So I think Hetfield has like evolved now in his thinking to where he recognizes a higher power or something like that.
Oh, really?
Which happens in 12-step programs and recovery programs. They always talk about a higher power.
Yep.
Because there's a recognition that
There is something out there.
Well, these things are too big to beat with just the frailties of human nature.
Yeah.
You know, we're not as strong as we think we are. You know, and that's the dichotomy of Christianity. It'll say, you suck, take responsibility for it, and change. And then in the same breath, it'll say, well, you can't. And then people have and I see like people have a big problem with Christianity because of that. And it's true because, you know, most of the time the church is doing this thing, doing the blame thing and not talking about any sort of redemptive alleyway or escape from your own corruption. Yeah. So I get it. And of course the answer is, yeah, you can't, but you know, it's already been done in Jesus, and then you know you believe on Him. I think we're gonna have a fireside. Alex says that penal substitution is immoral. So
immoral?
Yeah.
I wonder why he thinks that.
I have a good idea.
Yeah.
Because about 5-6 years ago, it was in style and sexy for theologians to say that penal substitution was bad. But coming from an atheist, it's just a strange concept.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what he has to say.
Yeah. Alex seems to have a very well-defined sense of justice for a person who told me that morality is subjective. But anyway, I digress. I think the song is great. I think it's brilliant. I really, really liked it.
You did? Did you get bored at all through it?
No, but if it wasn't a live show, I probably would have got bored. But I'm a sucker for the live show because I love showmanship. I love, you know, whatever. And it's Woodstock. There's a crowd.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I'm pretty sure I saw the naked lady.
Okay, that sounds really weird because... But you have to understand, like, Vin doesn't see those kinds of things. Like, it'll happen all the time where there'll be, like, some, like, YouTube thing where, like, there's some, like, woman in a thong in, like, this thumbnail, and then there'll be, like, this like, write-up of, like, boring words, and I'll be like, did you see that? And he'll be like, what? I was reading the words, and,
what
like...
she doesn't tell you is that I'm very, very focused when I'm looking for something. So... I was looking for a very specific thing, and I found it on the page. You can only look at so many things at once. So she always finds that stuff, and then she'll be like, did you look? And I'm like, I'm looking for something else.
I'm so fascinated by the fact that he doesn't see it. Like, because...
If I was looking for that, I'd find it before you. I'm researching something. You guys ever wonder how in Firesides I'm so quick?
But the thing is, I'm not looking for that. The TV has all these thumbnails. The thing has all these thumbnails. Beg to differ. And then, like, my eye sees that. Boom, a butt.
Yeah, so she'll be like, oh my God, didn't you see that butt? And it'll be like this little picture at the like bottom end of the screen. Big. It wasn't. Anyway, I'm always looking for stuff. So she'll.
I just think it's fascinating that he's not like the majority of other people or what I perceive other people to be like.
I think if the majority of other people were looking for, let's say you were looking for candy canes or something, and you found a candy cane on the screen because you were looking for it, and there was a butt there, I think you'd miss the butt. Like, there are these experiments, you know, the dancing bear experiment?
No.
Where it's like, there's a whole bunch of people, and then there's a dancing bear walking across the screen, and you never even saw it, and then they say, watch it again. Shit, there's a dancing bear, you missed it.
I mean, a dancing bear and a naked body is two different things.
To you. Not to me. If I'm looking for something and I'm focused on wanting to find something, I'm going to find it. That's why I have an advantage in reading.
Yeah, you do.
Because I can focus on one thing.
Because you can look at a page and know what it says before you really read it.
No. I read it, but I'm focused. I don't get distracted by all the other shit.
I'm so distracted by so many things.
Right. And that's why you're able to see the bot.
What a weird conversation.
This has nothing to do with Metallica. What did you think of the song? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
Yes, I liked it. Did you think his voice sounded a little bit country there in the middle, at the beginning? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so too.
Mm-hmm. This is in the country-alica
era.
I
thought so. I was like, I wonder if this is country-alica.
This is in the country-alica era, so...
Yeah, I liked it though.
So it definitely was that. This was after the Black Album. This was like, yeah.
Probably. And again, I think that it helped that it was a live show. I think that it's really amazing that they're this good live. You know, I liked the sound of his voice. Some of the ways that he carried those notes, like they kind of just snuck through the crowd. a little longer than I expected them to, but it was a pleasant surprise. I'm gonna probably go with a 9 because I liked the sound of it, and especially once you went over the topic, I think that the topic's very important.
It's a 9. It's a 9 for me as well.
Whoa!
Good job. Consensus. Go boo boo. All right. So it's a 9. Metallica Mondays, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Been out.
Sorry out.
Gone.